Hey, Mark, as you inspect the young guys as the season's winding down, what do you think of Roby's performance tonight? It looked like to be one of his better games he's had in a while.
Yeah, I thought he was really good offensively. I thought, they play traditional fives, and we thought we had a little bit of an advantage offensively by using him as kind of a spacer, getting his driving into the game. We gave some stuff up on the glass. We could have been a little better there collectively when he was out there. So I thought it wasn't all net plus, but he gave us good minutes there tonight. We tried to take a look at that a little bit and see if that was kind of a different look that we could go back to, even with Mo and Tony. And offensively, he was good. He was aggressive, got a couple shots to go down, and had good drives and kicks.
Barry Trammell with the Oklahoman.
Yeah, Mark, you guys seem to be playing with good attitude and all that kind of stuff, but is the losing streak starting to wear on the guys? Are they getting frustrated? And is there is it gnawing at them to come up short night after night?
A losing locker room for us has felt the same all year. These are competitive guys that want to win. When the scoreboard's on, they're ready to rock. And, whether it was, the second game of the year against Utah, where we come up just short, the locker room felt the same as it did tonight. They're certainly not apathetic. They definitely care about winning and losing. But I wouldn't say that cumulatively it's affected us. I think we have a process that our guys believe in. I think they know they're improving, and that's critical right now. And they understand where we are, developmentally. They understand that, we're going to have to really scratch and claw and play together and compete and execute in order to win. But, no question, they're disappointed after every loss, no matter, what point in the season it is. But I would say that our environment, and the optimism in the group is intact right now.
Harris Lawson with OKCThunder.com.
Coach, a lot of offense there in that first half from both squads. Then things slowed down a little bit in that third quarter for you guys. What did you feel out there and see from the group that kind of led to the slowdown a little bit?
I thought we had a pretty good flow offensively in the first half. I thought we did a really good job of taking care of the ball, and ball security was something that coming into the game we knew was going to be critical. I think we had more points off their turnovers than vice versa tonight. It's the first time in a little bit that's been the case. So that was good progress, even though we had a little bit of a relapse in the second half. I thought we had our opportunities in the second half offensively. At the end of the day, it was a defensive problem as much as anything tonight. I thought if our defense was a little more solid early and throughout the game, that would have given us a better chance to win this one. Because offense goes in and out, as we know, there's some volatility to the offensive end. So you got to really be able to, lock down defensively and control what you can control between that and the glass. And, we just didn't do that well enough tonight to get a win.
Joe Masato with the Oklahoman.
Yeah, Mark, going back to what you were saying about thinking you had the edge there with Roby, was that why Moses didn't play in the second half?
Yeah. He had 4 fouls at halftime. I thought Bradley only played 4 minutes in the first half and played pretty well. So between the foul trouble and the way Tony played in short minutes, obviously Roby at the 5 more squeezed those guys' minutes a little bit. I didn't plan on necessarily not going back to him. It's just how it worked out. We wanted to get Tony out there with Lopez. He handles that matchup pretty well. So it was more circumstantial than it was anything else.
And one more from me. I couldn't quite tell what was going on from where I was sitting. I don't know if you can shed any light on it, but there seemed to be some words between Russ and your guys' bench there late. Just what was that like? Or I guess what was it like sort of competing against him and the edge he had coming back to Oklahoma City?
Competing against him, is always a challenge. He's a really, really good player. Obviously, he had a really good game again tonight. So just like a lot of players in the league, it's a challenge to deal with those guys, and he's no different. And then as for the thing at the end, there's 2 minutes left. It's a 20-point game. It's just competitive stuff. That's all that was.
Thanks.
Daniel Bell with Black Sports Online.
Hey, Coach. It's kind of a follow-up to Barry's question, but you guys have a really young team, and for most, if not all, this is the most that most of these guys have lost in their careers. And obviously, nobody wants to lose so many games in a row. But with the rigorous schedule, is the losing and the schedule more mentally draining when you add those two together?
I don't feel like we're mentally drained. I give our guys a lot of credit. It doesn't feel any different right now than it has all year environmentally. From the beginning of the season, we set out to make sure that our mentality, our approach, our process, a focus on development, a focus on improvement. We set out to make sure that none of that stuff was attached to outcomes, and none of that stuff was attached to a winning streak, a losing streak. Otherwise, you just ride the roller coaster of the season, and you're going to sacrifice a lot of improvement if you do that. And so the environment feels the same. I think the way that our guys have competed, I thought we were ready to play tonight, and we got beat by a better team in the long run of the game. But we've had now 5 straight games, and if you include the Utah game before Golden State, 5 out of 6 or 6 out of 7 games that we've been really, really competitive in, and that we've scratched and clawed. We've taken a couple of them down to the last minute. And I think that's a reflection of our guys' engagement and our guys' competitiveness and the fact that we're a connected team right now. And so, I don't sense anything different environmentally. They're frustrated after a loss for sure, but they're frustrated, like I said to Barry, they're frustrated after every loss. It has nothing to do with the phase of the season. They're competitive guys, and we want to win every game that we go out and play. But environmentally, like I said, our optimism, our process, all that stuff's intact, and it's gotten stronger as the season's gone on.
Nick Gallo with Thunder Broadcasting.
Mark, 4 threes for Teo tonight, and especially on the first 2, he seemed to kind of really separate, coming around a screen, run into those threes to make sure he had plenty of room. What are you seeing from him, just in kind of understanding the nuances of that and trying to shoot off the dribble as a 3-point shooter and a point guard?
Well, with his playmaking and his ability to get his teammates involved, his court vision, a lot of the season has been about trying to create advantages for him so that he can play make. And we've talked a lot of times about his aggressiveness, his pace, him looking to hit gaps and get to the paint with the ball. And he's certainly ticked up in that. And then in the pick and roll, what allows a point guard to gain those advantages is shooting off the dribble and forcing your defender to have to chase over the top of you, and it allows you to get, off the screen and into the lane. And so, we've encouraged him, in every facet of his offensive game to be really aggressive. I thought he did that from the get-go tonight. He's really stepping into those shots with confidence. And it's really opening his game up. And, he continues to improve. Every night's not the same. It's not linear, obviously, as it isn't with anybody, but he's done a really good job. And I thought tonight was another example of that.